Actually, I am going 6-0 in the division because the rest of the division sucks.
This is the best division in football, Tori. Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Now, where we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We crossing topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, new scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beat us through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Because you listen to the Man Hour.
And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Man Hour. Michael Buckosher here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page, and of course, check out the blog section as well. And of course, I got the new alternate logo tee on tonight, the old M8 with the crown on it, because the Man Hour sometimes be the best damn sports show out there, as Mr. Brandon Combs like to say. So you got some people already jumping in the chat today. Tori says Tori is here with the Man Hour. Weather, it's hot. Facts, Tori. It is hot. So, fun fact, me and Cindy and the kids just left Walmart. Our car said 104, and it's 7 o'clock at night. So, it is definitely very, very hot here in Man Hour Nation. Tori, I don't know if you are on your vacation yet, but my mom says it's like 108 down there. So, guys, good luck with this heat. Stay hydrated and all that good stuff. So, we do got an action-packed show for you tonight. We are going to be talking about, let me bring it up here. There it is, bada bing, bada boom. We're going to talk a little bit of Dak Prescott. We're going to talk some Fitzmagic, some Cam Newton, Mac Jones. Mac Jones finally gets a number 10. Big shout out to Mac Jones for finally getting a number right. And then, fun fact, I'm flying solo tonight. Wyatt is under the weather. Combs is under the weather. And Tori is in the weather. Hot 110 degrees there in Kansas, or 100 degrees as he says. So he is in Wichita. So Wichita, Kansas, home of Barry Sanders. Fun fact. So Miss Nana Smith comes in, says, yeah, it is scary, nasty, hot outside. So yeah, our football practice got pushed back 2 hours because of the extreme heat out there. And Drew pops in and says, howdy boys, what's going on tonight? Drew, it's just me tonight, man. So definitely feel free to join the chat here. But if you guys see this little symbol right there by Drew's name, it looks like an S here. It's because Drew is a member. And how do you become a member? Well, first things first, what is the membership? Well, guys, we have all types of levels of memberships. We have the bronze, silver, gold, and of course, Man Hour Nation membership. Starting at 99 cents a month, you get access to behind the scenes footage. We've been testing that a little bit throughout the behind this week, and I think I finally have hammered it out. So nerd talk here. I downloaded some Banana Maker, and it is attached to my StreamYard into Streamlabs, and then bada bing, bada boom, everything works correctly. So nerd out there. So shout out to Banana Maker for giving me a virtual, basically, what you might call it? What do I want to call it? A virtual mixer board on my computer, even though I got one on my desktop, but whatever. So back to the Mad membership here. So 99 cents, what you get is you get access to the after show footage and discount to merchandise. Then that's a $2.99 deal. You get obviously additional discounts to the merchandise page. You get the a t-shirt after 6 months of being a member, and you get access to the fantasy football show with Tori, Mr. at manhour_Tori. And then, of course, we have the Wyatt Williams joining there as well. They are talking tight ends coming up here next. I believe it's next Wednesday it is when that drops. So that $2.99 deal is when that starts. And then the $5.99 deal is where all the fun starts to happen. We are giving away a Vegas trip to the 2022 NFL draft here in April next year. So if you are a $5.99 member, you get entered into that. You get a hoodie or a t-shirt after 6 months. You get all access footage and all that good stuff. And then the $99 deal, you get a hoodie every year you are part of Man Hour Nation. You get a t-shirt every year you are part of Man Hour Nation. You get obviously entered into the Vegas trip. You get behind the scenes footage during the show. So when we go on breaks for 3 or 4 minutes here, you get to see us and interact with us during the breaks to see what we actually are like outside of the live show here. So fun fact is we are definitely a lot more raw and raunchy when it comes down there. Joey says he's waiting for him to send me some merch. Joey, I'm waiting you to buy some merch. So if you buy some merch, we'll send you some merch. Like that's definitely how it works out there. So let's go ahead and jump into the show today, guys. Like I said, this is sponsored by Brooks Roofing, brooksroofingin.com for all your roofing and siding needs here in Southern Indiana. But let's go ahead and get the show started real quick here. And we are going to talk some Dak Prescott. So as you guys know, Dak Prescott injured his shoulder, 2 weeks ago here, and the Dallas Cowboys front office said, there's nothing to really worry about. It's just a shoulder strain. We're going to take it day by day, and basically, there's nothing to worry about. I mean, Dak is our guy. He's totally fine. There's nothing to worry about. But then I watched the first episode of Hard Knocks just a couple days ago, obviously starting the Dallas Cowboys, and the very first episode had Dak Prescott's injury on there, and you seen the way Dak was holding his shoulder and the way that he was just like wincing in pain. No pun there, but he was wincing in pain, and a good old Mike McCarty was kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, man. And there's basically like a sense of panic here. So the really what it comes down to is like, what is going on with Dak Prescott? The Dallas Cowboys come out on their Twitter last night, I do believe, saying that Dak Prescott, well, first things first, is they like to sugarcoat things first, saying everything's fine with Dak Prescott. Nothing is to worry about, but he's having another MRI on his shoulder. Hello, red flag. You just don't get an MRI just to get a MRI. Like, that is absolutely asinine to even think that the common public would be like, we just want to stick a 6-inch needle and throw some dye in your shoulder just because it is like it is fun. So Dallas Cowboys do not sugarcoat us with all that crap saying, oh, Dak's totally fine. This is all just precautionary crap. It is not precautionary. He has been out for 2 weeks now. He hasn't thrown the ball over 5 yards, and it is absolutely asinine to think that Dak Prescott is totally fine. I mean, they've already consulted with the Texas Rangers about shoulder injuries, and obviously baseball is full of baseball shoulder injuries. So I mean, obviously that's right in the real house. But just when we saw this tweet, I mean, of course there's going to be a sense of panic, across the land and like all that stuff. So when you say don't worry about it, red flag number 1. Red flag number 2, we saw Hard Knocks. Everybody has seen Hard Knocks here. If you haven't seen it yet, go to youtube.com and search Dak Prescott injury, and you see something is just not right. I mean, as the athletes say, you always know. Like obviously the athletes know their body, and when you hurt something good. Like athletes know when they tear their ACL. Athletes know when they tear their bicep and tricep. You just know. I mean, you can say, we need an MRI and evaluate. No, dude, I know I tore my knee up. There is no question in my mind. I know I tore my knee up. So I want to propose this question out there. So we are seeing Dak basically not play football for over a year now, right? I mean, he had that gruesome leg injury week 5 last year. And now he's suffering that shoulder injury. So I want to ask this question. So guys, here in the chat, if you're on youtube.com/man-hour, listening to us here on youtube.com, let me know. Can the Dallas Cowboys win without Dak Prescott? Like, it's a simple, cut and dry answer. Can the Cowboys win without Dak Prescott? And when I'm talking about win, we're talking like 9 to 10 win season here, winning the division, going to the playoffs. And hindsight, right now, looking at the roster the way it is currently constructed, the Dallas Cowboys have no freaking shot of winning 9 to 10 games without Dak Prescott at the helm. There's no way whatsoever. If Dak Prescott is going to miss an extended period of time, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, they might want to consider just sitting him out through the whole season. Like, anyways, I mean, yes, I know they're a franchise quarterback, yada, yada, yada. You get better every rep you take. I get it. But you might want to consider a free agent quarterback or to trade for a quarterback. Right now, you have Ben DiNucci on your roster, and who else? Absolutely nobody, right? So there are big names out there. Jimmy G is let's just be honest, Jimmy G is out on the trading block. If you guys want to admit it or not, Jimmy G is out there. I think Trey Lance is going to be the guy in San Francisco come week 1. He will be out there. Cam Newton will probably be out there as well. We'll talk a little bit about Cam Newton and like Mac Jones later in the show, but Cam Newton's probably going to be out there available for trade or maybe even off of like a waiver or like a free agent type of thing. Nick Foles is probably going to be out there. So guys, there are names out there that the Dallas Cowboys can pick up. So let me ask you guys this here in the chat. What quarterback out there would fit in the Dallas Cowboys scheme as currently constructed? If Dak Prescott can't play, what quarterback out there would be a great fit for the Dallas Cowboys? Jimmy G? Is it Nick Foles? Is it not Carson Wentz? Is it the Mills guy from the Texans? Is it Fitzpatrick? Let me know, guys, who it is here. So with that being said, let me go ahead and jump over here to the chat. And guys, thank you for all the comments tonight. So let me go ahead and try to address as many as I can, make sure I don't skip any here. Tori says, I am about to melt in this heat. Tori, I feel your pain. My garage here right now has got to be 110. I got a fan blowing, but sweat is just pouring down my face 100%. Wayne G, shout out to you. So first things first, guys, if you guys do not know who Wayne G is, Wayne G he is the host of Infinity Sports, and Wayne did all of my graphics here. So these fresh new graphics that you guys see, the commercial break you guys are getting ready to see, Wayne G did all of that for us. So big shout out to Wayne G, and definitely appreciate everything you do for us, Wayne. So Wayne G says, in the NFL, if you are getting $40 million a year, you get an MRI every time you sneeze. That is true. That is true, Wayne G. I do agree with that. Like, we do see precautionary X-rays and MRIs like all the time, but usually it's a injury like a leg but the problem with this is that Dak Prescott has already missed going on week 3 now. He hasn't thrown a ball more than 5 or 10 yards in 2 weeks. So, and then, he obviously missed the Hall of Fame game. He is not scheduled to play their week 2 game. Hell, he has not even taken a full rep in practice since this injury. So that is the biggest red flag for me, is you are getting a second MRI after you have told everybody that you are okay, yada, yada, yada. So that is big red flags. And then Drew is kind of piggybacking on exactly what I said there. They consulted the Major League Baseball Texas Rangers about his shoulders. That is a huge red flag. 100% agree with that, Drew. Anytime you reach out to other doctors besides your own, especially when you're a professional, because let's be honest, the NFL, Major League Baseball, basketball, they have the best of the best doctors and trainers on their roster. And then when you reach out to somebody else to get a second opinion, something's not right. Is it a bone bruise? Is it a bone bruise? Something is probably not going on in there. Nana says, welcome to all the new subscribers. Yeah, Nana. Over the last couple days, the subscriber count has really increased. So definitely shout out to all those people that are subscribing to the chat here. So with all that being said, I asked the question, can the Cowboys win without Dak Prescott? Drew says no, they cannot. Wayne G says the Cowboys cannot win without Dak. And there are a couple others in there. I agree they cannot win without Dak. I'm sure everybody probably in the chat at some point, whether you're watching this live or as a clip form, Dak, the Cowboys cannot win without Dak. Wayne G also says you don't trade for a starter unless you know the fact that Dak is going to miss 8+ games. I do agree with that. But with that being said, Is Ben DiNucci the answer? Let me pull up the Dallas Cowboys depth chart roster right here. I probably should have done this before the show, but I was not expecting to do a solo show tonight. Usually I look up the roster during when like Combs is ranting and raving and crying about Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace and whatnot. So as soon as this loads, man, ESPN's going slow. Here we go. Dallas Cowboys, bada bing, bada boom. What do we got here? Tick, 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 tick. Let me take a little drink. Depth chart. So, Cowboys already 0-1. We all knew that. So, Garrett Gilbert and Ben DiNucci and then Cooper Rush is currently their depth chart. So, obviously, Dak Prescott is the starter. Garrett Gilbert, I don't know who Gilbert is, but Ben DiNucci, I did like Ben DiNucci last year, and I think if Ben DiNucci had a, like, saying he is the guy, I think the Cowboys would be okay. But, yeah, I mean, you don't trade for somebody that could possibly compete for Dak's starting position in the 2022 season if you know for a fact that Dak is going to miss the whole season. So, yeah. Joey says, Buck, you're the only one tonight. Yes, Joey, I am the only one tonight. Wyatt is sick. Combs is sick. And Mr. Torrey Anderson is in my homeland, the land of Oz, the Tornado Alley Vision, Wichita, Kansas right now, home of Barry Sanders. Fun fact there. Talk about FC football is going to suck this year. We can definitely talk a little bit of high school football here later in the show during shop talk. If you would like, Joey, just go ahead and remind me. Mitchell Trubisky would be a great fit in Dallas. So I'm not for sure. So sometimes, Drew, it is hard to tell if you're trolling or not, but the LOL kind of says it might be a trolling. But you know what? Mitchell Trubisky would be a great fit in Dallas to probably hold down the fort for 8 or 9 games, right? I mean, he obviously has starter experience. He has a great offense. He has a mediocre defense. He has a offensive-minded head coach that wants to, push the ball down the field per se. And they have arguably the best running back in all of the league. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky would honestly be a perfect fit in Dallas Cowboys. Right now, he's the backup for the Buffalo Bills. He led the Chicago Bears to the playoffs twice. See, Combs is a type of guy that just you don't win me a Super Bowl, you are trash in my opinion. F you, yada yada. Guys, Mitchell Trubisky led the Bears to the playoffs twice in his 4 years there. So 50% batting average to get your crappy Chicago Bears to the playoffs. And did they win a playoff game? I don't think that. I don't think they won a playoff game, but they battled with the Saints last year in that Nickelodeon game. That was absolutely great to watch. Ha ha, wink wink. But yeah, honestly, Drew, I think Mitchell Trubisky would be a great fit in Dallas Cowboys as a backup or even a potential starter to hold down the fort while Dak is out, if he is out for like a little while. So, and then Joey wants to come out and says, Wayne really talking this chat up. Yeah, Wayne G, come on over to YouTube, man. That's where Joey likes to hang out. Ryan James Caffey says Dak MRI is just a part of the recovery process to see where his shoulder is at, and if he was seriously injured, he wouldn't have said anything. I agree with that to an extent. I agree with it to the fact that, yes, you do need to know where your shoulder is physically, but at the same time, you've already had an MRI. The only time I feel like you'd have a second MRI is if something was tore over there, right? If something was tore or partially torn, or I think it's called frayed. Sometimes when you tear like a little bit of like a rotator cuff, it's just like they call it frayed. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's probably a rotator cuff is his injury, and they want to know if it's they already know if it's a full thickness tear or if it's just like a millimeter tear or a fray or whatever. So they probably got a second opinion from the Texas Rangers and a second MRI just to make sure, it is what they thought they said it was here. But guys, I need to go take on the first break. We are 20 minutes into the show. We talked enough Dallas Cowboys. We have to jump to the break here real quick, guys. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk some more NFL. Obviously, NFL preseason is underway. It starts tonight. We have a couple games tonight where we have the Patriots playing tonight. There's a couple other. I think the Eagles play tonight as well. Obviously, Saturday we have everybody playing. So guys, sit back and relax and join. This is Man Hour, guys. Rise up. We'll be right back here after the break. But by the way, guys, let me know if you can hear the music on the break during this thing. I hope my nerdness fixed the whole connection issue, but if you can't, let me know. So hashtag yes or hashtag no in the chat if you can hear the break music. We'll be right back, guys, here on Man Hour. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse flying here solo tonight. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, simply head over to youtube.com/Man Hour. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon as I upload the clips, the top 5 clips from out the show the next day. So at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. East Coast time is when I do upload the clips Sunday through Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, we add the 8 o'clock hour so that we always have something at 8 o'clock, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So let's do some house cleaning stuff here, guys, before we get into some more NFL talk. Obviously, guys, if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that like button and share this with a couple friends. So the reason why I say that is because right now we are giving away a Vegas trip. So to the 2022 NFL draft next April, we are giving away a 4-day, 3-night trip to Vegas. It is going to cover your hotel, flight, and we're doing some type of food voucher as well while you're there. So every time you like a stream, it pops up here. It says that you like it. I make a little note. Every time you share it, I make a little note, and you get more entries into this free trip that we are giving away to Vegas. How you get entered into this trip is you simply have to go to youtube.com/Man Hour, hit that join button, and you have to become a gold member. That's $5.99 a month, for at least you get to be a member of minimum 3 months to get entered into this to this trip. So that is all you gotta do. Is you gotta join, become a member, $5.99 member. That's a gold membership. Also, along with that, you get a T-shirt. You get access to the behind-the-scenes footage, which we've been tinkering with here on the like the last week. I think I finally have figured it out and hammered it down. So we'll have that. You get the after-show footage. You get merchandise discount. You get access to the fantasy show with Tori and Wyatt every Wednesday at 10:45 East Coast time. This week they're doing tight ends, or I should say next week they're doing tight ends, your top 10 fantasy tight ends to pick up. So, guys, all you do is $5.99 membership, youtube.com, hit that join button, and every time you enter, or like every time you like a live stream, every time you share it, every time you comment, you get more entries into that. There will be a full list of rules starting next Sunday in the description here on youtube.com. So let's jump into some more sports talk here. As you guys know, NFL preseason week 1 is well underway. The Patriots are playing right now, and there is a huge quarterback competition happening over there in New England. And I say a competition because we don't know if Cam Newton is going to be the starter moving forward. They obviously drafted Mac Jones. He is looking like a beast right now. I have it playing up here in the background. Of course, Wayne G comes out and says, speaking of quarterbacks, Mac Jones is out here looking like he is going to start week 1. So, guys, that is the question that I'm going to propose to you right now. I mean, obviously, Combs and Wyatt and Tori aren't here, so I'm going to talk to you guys in the chat here. Let me know, who do you guys think is going to start week 1 for the New England Patriots? Is it going to be Cam Newton, or is it going to be Mac Jones? Me personally, judging by what I'm seeing here, Mac Jones obviously looks like he's going to do well in the NFL. He has a quarterback number, and he doesn't look trash by any means. But also, this is also preseason. He is playing against guys that are going to be bagging groceries or playing an indoor football league probably next week or 2 weeks from now. So I can't take too much stock into what I'm seeing right now in Mac Jones. What I am taking stock, though, is what he has been doing on the practice field. So if you guys do not know, obviously the NFL training camp has been going on for a couple weeks now, and Mac Jones is looking like a professional out there. He is taking leadership roles, and the fan, or not the fans, but his teammates are really gravitating to the type of leader and the type of person that Mac Jones is. So when you sit back and you look at the full package here, obviously Bill Belichick is kind of building for the future, but also in a must-win now situation right now as well. Because I think Bill Belichick would probably retire in the next 3 or 4 years, depending on how the next 3 or 4 years go. I mean, obviously, if he's at the top of his game, he's winning 2-3 Super Bowl, or going to 2 or 3 Super Bowls in the next 4 or 5 years. Obviously, I think he is going to stay around and ride whatever train he is on right now. But if we see what we saw last year with Cam Newton just being a shell of himself, and I think what the Patriots finished like 7-9 or 6-10 or something, it was not to quote the Patriot way anymore, and they just look like ass. Let's just be flat out honest. Now I know they had COVID and players out and like all this stuff, and they had a great free agency and like off season. But let's circle this back around. With all that being said, with all that free agency, with all those drafts that they had, and a great draft pick that they had, I think Bill Belichick is going to give Cam Newton a fair shot to basically. I think right now it is Cam Newton's job to lose the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. Yes, Mac Jones is going to fit in and probably do. Judging by what we're seeing, obviously it's preseason, like I just said, but judging by what I'm seeing right here, he looks like an NFL quarterback. He has a nice, big, strong arm. He has confidence. He has that pocket presence. He looks good. So I think right now it is Cam's job, as Drew says, Cam will start week 1 here for the New England Patriots in the NFL season, the 2021 regular season, I should say. And I do agree. I think Cam Newton is in there to at least week 7, week 8. I don't know when the Patriots bye week is by any means, but we here on the Man Hour, me and Combs especially, I should say me and Tori, especially, really are taking stock into this year's bye week, because we see quarterbacks out there, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, who else is out there? the other rookies, we are giving them basically till the bye week to get acclimated into the NFL, and then after the bye week, they're going to, boom, be in there. And I think that's what we're going to see in New England. Unless Cam Newton absolutely is sucking it up, then we'll throw Mac Jones in there. Or if old Cam Newton is just literally lighting it up, playing balls out. And I'm not saying even balls out, just like winning, because, winning cures all. Cam Newton can be doing his 120 yards passing with 50 yards rushing, but as long as they're winning 13-3, 10-2, whatever it is, as long as they're putting that W in that win column, I do not think Bill Belichick will pull from Cam Newton until he absolutely has to. So, guys, let me know in the chat, hashtag Cam, hashtag Mac, who do you think is going to start week 1 in the NFL season here? So scroll back over here into the chat here. Like I said, Wayne G comes out and says, speaking of quarterbacks, Mac Jones, look out here, look, he's going to start week 1. So Wayne G is giving us a hashtag Mac. Obviously, Drew is giving us a hashtag Cam. So right now we're at 1-1. So guys, let me know what you guys think, who the starter for the New England Patriots is going to be come week 1 in the NFL season. Whew. So the other game that is happening right now is the Washington football team. They are out there, playing a preseason game. I don't know who they're playing because it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. But Ryan Fitzpatrick is starting for the Washington football team in this week 1. He'll probably play a series or 2, if maybe 3. But basically just to get his feet wet and get acclimated to this Washington football team. So the question that I was going to propose to the guys: how important is Ryan Fitzpatrick to the Washington football team moving forward? So Wayne G corrected me. Washington football team is playing the the England Patriots. So there we go. So how important is Ryan Fitzpatrick to the Washington football team? I don't think he is that important, to be honest, just because I think the Washington football team is built much like the Denver Broncos, and they have that plug and play quarterback type of role. So I think anybody that is not Lamar Jackson can play quarterback for the Washington football team. We're talking Derek Carr, Ryan Fitzpatrick, obviously. Taysom Hill could probably play for them and win 10-11 games. So how important is Ryan Fitzpatrick to the Washington football team as a starting quarterback? He is not that important. I don't think he is that important at all. But now, as a veteran presence in that quarterback room, I think that is where he is important. And I think that is why the football team ultimately decided to get him, was to be that presence on the field. Because looking at their depth chart here, they have Taylor Heineke. If you guys forgot about him, he played 2 quarters in the playoff games versus the Bucs, and he lit it up. He ended up breaking his shoulder or separating his shoulder or something like that in the fourth quarter. Played the whole fourth quarter with the separated shoulder. So the kid definitely has balls. Definitely deserves that $8 million deal that he got after that. Like after that, and then they have Kyle Allen, which Kyle Allen was a backup to Cam Newton in Carolina with Ron Rivera, obviously, and Ron Rivera obviously is the coach for the Washington football team. So as a starting quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick is very not important to the Washington football team. As I said, I'm going to regurgitate what I just said. Now, if they were to totally just lose him out of the locker room, out of the quarterback room, off of the sideline, then that's a big blow for the Washington football team, because then you got a quarterback like Tyler Heineke that had great success versus the Bucs. When I say great success, I mean he kind of held the Washington football team in there, but I'm not for sure if he can really, sustain a full season. We don't really know, right? He's not that important, because there are many other free agents out there that can plug and play with them. So Wayne G comes out and says that Ryan Fitzpatrick is not really important. I think one win difference between him and Heineke. So Wayne G, let me ask you this question. I think the Washington football team is a 7-11, 8-9 type of team. You know, that like live, that 500S type of team. Torrey Anderson has them going 13-4. Wyatt has them going 11-5, I think, and I believe Combs has them down about 5 or 6 wins as well. So let me ask you this question, Wayne G. What do you have the record as, and is that one win between 12 and 13 wins, or 6 and 7, 3 and 4? Let me know, just so we know how, basically what we're looking at for the success for the Washington team. Because, you know, think about this. If let me bring Wayne G's comment back up here. If Wayne G says he thinks it is a only 1 win difference and they're going, you know, 12-5 this year, why not put Taylor Heineke in there? Get him some experience. See what you have with that. Have that kid. I mean, 11 wins is probably going to win the NFC East and get you into the playoffs. They'll probably put you 4th seed, maybe 3rd seed, depending on how the Lions actually do with that 10-7, or they might go even 11-6. Looking at the receiver core that they have now built up, but so. If it's between 12 and like 11 wins, I'd say put Taylor Heineke in there. So let me see here. Oh, he says 7-10 sounds right. So they are obviously a below 500. What's that? That's about a 400 team. That's probably second in the division. So if they're only going to go 7-10 with Ryan Fitzpatrick in there too, why not put Taylor Heineke in there? Because I think at 7-10 you probably miss the playoffs. You are second in the division. You're probably top 15 draft pick. I think you got to see what you have with Taylor Heineke. Drew says he thinks they're going to go 10-7, so go ahead and flip that record right around there. If they are 10-7 and that 1 win difference with Taylor Heineke and without Taylor Heineke, that is when you got to leave Ryan Fitzpatrick in there. I think because that 1 win could be a matter of the division making the playoffs or missing it, right? So if you're 9-8, I think you're going to probably miss the playoffs in the NFC. But if you're 10-7, I think you do slide in there. So let me know what you guys think here. Who do you think is going to win the NFC East? Give me hashtag Cowboys, hashtag WFT Giants, or the Eagles. If you say the Eagles, you might be drunk. But we'll just go ahead and let that slide. Moving on to the next topic here. So I've been wanting to talk baseball all week here, and Combs is not here, and every time I try to talk baseball with like, obviously I'm not the smartest baseball knowledge person in the world, right? But I see things. We saw the Cubs get destroyed today by the Brewers. That last score I saw was like 17-3. So shout out to Torrey Anderson's Milwaukee Brewers there. So I'm going to ask this guy's a question. Give me a second. Let me ask you guys this question here. We saw the Cubs clean house. The Cubs have nobody left. The Yankees, the Mets, and the Dodgers. I think even the Padres. They picked up some big name, players to get through the dog days of summer and to make it into the playoffs and to the World Series. So now that the dust is starting to settle, we're starting to see teams look. I believe Rizzo has played like 10 games now for the Yankees, maybe 12. We're starting to see where he fits. I mean, obviously he's on the injured list right now, but we're starting to see the new and improved teams, right? So let me ask you guys this. Now that the dust has settled, who is your favorite to win the World Series now? Are you still sticking with your original picks back in, when did we pick them? January, February time frame, or are we jumping ship and looking at like new teams here? I mean, judging by the Yankees, I don't think the Yankees have what it takes to win the World Series. I saw them play a 3-game series with my Kansas City Royals. Kansas City Royals took 2 of 3. Let me go ahead and throw out the old KC hat for you guys here. So there's no, man, I got a cough like a mofo. So I think the Yankees are out. I think the Mets, I hope the Mets actually miss the playoffs, because anytime a team practices celebrating and winning a World Series, I don't want you to do well at all. But I think the odd-out favorites right now has to be the San Diego Padres. They easily have the best roster out there. I mean, we talked Tatis Jr. last night, possibly moving into the outfield. You know, like I said, if he moves to the outfield, I think he will be the best outfielder in all Major League Baseball, which is crazy to think, but I think that's just the way it is going to be. I mean, they have a great first baseman in Eric Hosmer. Drew, our boy Eric Hosmer, is over there in Padre land. They have Manny Machado. I mean, they have a great team. San Diego Padres right now is, I think, the team to beat. Wayne G says the Dodgers had LeBron recruiting for them, and they are loaded. I do agree the Dodgers are loaded as well, and they've been there. They've done that. But at the same time, there's a such thing as destiny or faith or whatever you want to call it, and I think this year is the Padres' year. Drew comes out and says a high-ranked team, Brewers, beat a AAA team in the Cubs. Not much to brag about. It is much to brag about when you dominate the Cubs the way they did, or way they have all season. And obviously, Torrey is a Brewers fan. Torrey is a Brewer fan, Combs is a Cubs fan. So, I mean, we got that natural rivalry right here on the Man Hour. So, anytime your team beats another team, you have to poke it. Like, so when the Bears beat the Packers week 5, Combs is going to let them hear it, you know? And when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, I'm going to let you guys hear it. I mean, that is just the way it is. Drew also said the Giants are rolling. Yes, the Giants are rolling. What they got, 70 wins, 75 wins, like the last I checked. I believe I checked on Monday or Tuesday. They were obviously the highest win total with that. So, yeah, I mean, they are definitely rolling. They are easily the best team in their division, but the Giants seem to also shit the bed in the playoffs, too. Wayne G says that Tatis is great, but not Mike Trout great. So, Wayne G, Brandon Combs said that he thinks Mike Trout is not even a top 5 outfielder in Major League, which is kind of crazy to me. But but I think Mike Trout is the humble guy that comes to works his ass off every day, and kind of flies underneath the radar. And when we're going to look back on his career in 15 years, like, man, this guy had like 700 home runs, and he has eight rings. I mean, Mike Trout could possibly be the best outfielder ever, but we also look at flash, right? Drew says Machado is 1 homer away from 500. I did not know that. I do know that Abreu is 1 home. He is at 499. He hit 499 yesterday. So the guy from the Tigers. So he's 499. So we're 2 players chasing 500. I believe the guy from the Tigers would be like the 28th player. So we have 28 and possibly 29 players that hit the 5-run Cubs. Brandon Combs said that Nomar is better than DiMaggio and Pujols. He doesn't know baseball. Shots fired there. Wayne G, we're going to have you on. I mean, what you guys don't know is we are working on some new segments here coming up here on the Man Hour. Wayne G is going to star on the Thursday segment, 8:45 East Coast time. We're going to have a segment called That's Debatable. So basically it'd be like right now, but next week we're going to have a segment called That's Debatable, and I believe, Wayne G, that is going to be your first question. That is debatable. Is Nomar better than DiMaggio? There you go. That is debatable, right? So, anyways, guys, it is time for break number 2. On the other side of the break, what do we got coming up here? We were going to have Factor Crap. We got some banter coming up, or we can talk some more sports headlines, guys. So whatever you want me to talk about, let me know. I am going to talk some Daniel Jones. We have to talk some New York Giants. And we got to sprinkle in some Ohtani as well, I guess, because we haven't talked about Ohtani in 48 hours. So it's time to sprinkle in some Ohtani as well. So guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy this next break. We'll be right back here on the Man Hour, guys. Stay tuned.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse are flying solo tonight, so be sure to head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise page and check out the blog section as well. And of course, if you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can simply head over to youtube.com/manhour, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, and we upload the clips each and every day, 7 days a week, 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. every Sunday through Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, we sprinkle a little bit of taste in there at 8 p.m. as well. Also, if you guys are not a member over here at youtube.com, you are missing out on a lot of stuff. You're missing a trip to Vegas. You are missing the behind-the-scenes footage. You are missing the after-hour show. But most importantly, guys, you are missing the fantasy football show that is released every Wednesday morning at 10:45 a.m. East Coast time with Mr. Tori Anderson at man__Tori and D. White Williams at man_TWW. You can hit them both up on Twitter, guys. If you have any fantasy football questions, just be sure to have the question and let them know what type of league you are in. If it's a PPR, if it's a custom scoring, etc. Right? So just let them know what your question is and what kind of league it is. If it's a point question, because obviously, if you're in a PPR league, Lamar Jackson might be better than Patrick Mahomes because of running, passing ability, right? So with all that being said, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to tonight. So if you guys, this is the shot talk section of the show here. So going into hour number 2, each and every show here, we have a section dedicated to strictly just the fans. You guys can talk about anything you want. Normally, I have the phone lines open so we can scroll the phone number across, but I'm not going to open it up tonight. But so if you guys have any questions, let us know. And bada bing, bada boom, it is time to party. So during the break there, we had Jim Tebow come in and says that he has not watched Man Hour for a while, and you guys have definitely improved. I'm looking for that comment. You guys were going back and forth there for there it is. There it is. And Jim says, I have stayed away from Man Hour for a while, and truth be told, you have gotten better. Thanks, Jim. The one thing about Man Hour is we do try to improve each and every show. If you would have watched Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, was it Sunday or Monday show, we tried the new visual aspects, and you guys could hear me just fine, you could hear the music just fine, but you couldn't hear Combs and Wyatt. We basically sometimes hear when you do stuff the way we do, because we work full-time. I actually work basically 2-3 full-time jobs. Like I have my 8 to 5 job, I coach high school football, and then I come do this. So sometimes you don't have that time to really do soft tests. We did a hard test and it flopped flat on our ass. But now I worked my ass off. I was working my ass off during the actual show. Wyatt and Combs held it down for me while I was trying to frantically try to figure it out. The people in the chat, you guys were being awesome, holding it down too. And if you are a 99 member, you saw me ferociously working on the background trying to figure it out, and I just couldn't figure it out. So we actually ended up having to restart the show from scratch basically. And now we are, come Thursday, 3 or 4 days later, I have figured it out. And so once Combs and White and Tori all come back on here, guys, you are going to get some great visual aspects from us. So we are definitely trying to get better each and every show. Also, if you guys have any tips, it's like, hey, try this out. This segment would be cool. So a couple segments that we do is ain't nobody got time for that. That was come up by you fans here in the chat. You're like, hey, you guys should try this, and we love doing it. We actually haven't done it for a while, but it is definitely coming back here 100%. And then Jim also says, he basically said, I like it when you guys talk football the most because you seem to know more about football. Yeah, that is 100% correct. Me and Wyatt, obviously I coach high school football. I played football at a very high level. Wyatt broadcasts and played football as well. Tori and Combs both like NFL. So it is very easy to talk about stuff that you enjoy to watch. Yes, we like watching baseball and basketball and hockey and all that stuff, but when you are when you're more passionate about something than others, it is a little bit easier to talk about said topic here. And Drew says, yeah, football is their bread and butter, and it helps when you have played for professionally. Yeah, I believe he's speaking about me. Yes, I have played at a very high level. So Drew also says electronics are unpredictable. So yeah, you are 100% correct. And he also says last night was very interesting. So if you guys, we had everything working right here last night, but the stream was just buffering and buffering and buffering. And it turns out that I turned the replay on, on our OBS stream. So basically, anytime there would be any lag from like my computer to the output source, it would basically restart the actual stream. So if you were watching on the behind the scenes footage, we were like an hour ahead of the YouTube channel, and I actually rewatched I actually rewatched it after the show just because like I'm the type of person that I get really, really upset if something doesn't go perfect, and I'm like, man, what is wrong? And I had to figure it out, and I'm watching the replay. I'm like, man, this replay is perfect. There's no buffering or like anything else, but it was like a 40-minute show. So basically, what happened was they cut out all the buffering, and it's a great feed. It's like 40 minutes long versus our 2-hour show. Let me pop up Wayne G's comment here. He says, I was the worst high school football player ever, but according to the conversations that I had with other men over 40, I'm the only one that didn't play quarterback. Yeah, so I feel like anybody that played high school football, I was a star receiver, I was the running back, right? I could throw that football over the mountain, right? I played linebacker in high school. I was a Mike linebacker in high school. My senior year, I was 165 pounds soaking wet. Like, I was a scrawny little shit, 6'2", 6'3", 165 pounds, but I don't want to toot my own horn, but I was a badass motherfucker. Like, I would pop you over the middle any chance I get, and I averaged 27 tackles throughout my career, all through high school, my freshman until my senior year. Then, obviously, I went to JUCO college my first year, and they packed 40 pounds on me like that first year. So I was not a glory player. I was a linebacker and then moved to jack backer and got burnt a lot deep. That's why I never really succeeded beyond past that college level. I mean, I played in the CFL and arena leagues and whatnot, but I never made it to the NFL by any means because I'm 6'2". I only weighed 235 pounds and I ran like a 4.6. So I was I was basically not big enough to play linebacker. I was like too slow to play like a safety or a corner, and I was basically too tall to play free safety from what my coaches told me. Apparently you can be too tall to play a position, but either way, it was crazy. So if you guys want to talk about anything in the chat, let me know, and we will get to it. Let me get a quick little drink. These allergies are... It is allergy season here in Southern Indiana. If you guys are from the Ohio Valley area, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This first week and a half of August, you are going to be knocked on your flat ass 100% of the time for whatever reason, and I just don't know why. But I want to give a huge shout out, guys, to you guys in the comments each and every time there. You guys hold it down for me. You guys make this show fun. You make this entertaining. But I do got to cut this short tonight because when I found out I was doing a solo show, I lined up some interviews for us. So we did those right after football practice. So we are going to talk to LaShawn Mays. He is a 4-star linebacker out of here, Southern Indiana, Silver Creek. He is just a junior, but he is getting looks at Florida State, Ohio State, and whatnot. And I get the privilege of coaching a person like that, expanding my knowledge to him, and then he comes into the studio here and we hang out and we talk like we're brothers. So it is a great interview. Normally, like, our interviews go about 15-20 minutes tops. Me and LaShawn talked for an hour and a half. So if you guys want to listen to that interview, listen to us tomorrow on 313 The Flash at 8 a.m. It's 313theflash.com. Or you can always listen to us on Big X Sports Radio every Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 now. They move us back an hour. So we got bumped to more of that prime time slot there. So 4 to 6 here on the East Coast time. And it's bigxsportsradio.com. If you're not in the Southern Indiana, is where you can list that as well. Drew says the University of Nebraska appreciated your efforts back in the day. I didn't play for Nebraska, but I did get beat by Nebraska. So that was fun. So no, actually, I never got the opportunity to play against Nebraska. Actually, Drew. My freshman year of college, I was in JUCO. That was the year. Was it that year or the year before that? Colorado, Nebraska, Missouri all jumped ship. There was one other team. That's not what I meant. Are you saying Nebraska liked me being white and slow, so they could beat us up and down the field all the time, Drew? Where are you trying to go with this, Drew? Are you saying that I sucked? Come on now, man. No, but Nebraska was always fun to watch. I remember when I was a kid. Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, because you are from Omaha, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was 1998. It was snowing in Manhattan, Kansas. The Kansas State Wildcats have not beaten Nebraska as long as I can remember. It's probably like a 30 or 40 game winning streak. Nebraska come in at number 2, and Kansas State had a quarterback by the name of Michael Bishop, number 7, and we beat you guys 45-30 that particular game. And I had the opportunity of being at that game. I was like sixth or seventh grade, and we stormed the field. We tore down the goalpost. We carried it down downtown Manhattan, right through Aggieville, and I was sitting there riding on the goalpost. I mean, like, you know, I'm sixth grade, so, you know, all these 6-foot guys, I'm like 5 foot nothing. I'm just hanging on, dangling. They're carrying the goalpost down the field. It was great times. But yeah, little throwback story there for when K-State glory days. That was a year that K-State was. If we would have won the Big 12 championship that year, we would have played the national championship. But we were playing against Texas A&M in St. Louis. I forget the name of the field that the dome was, but it was when the Rams played the old field, not the new one. It was the old one. And we needed somebody to lose to us get into the national championship game. And that particular, like, the names are slipping my mind. I think it was like Miami, possibly, but Miami got beat in their championship game. So all we had to do was hold our lead against Texas A&M, and we would be going to a national championship game. But the very next play, Michael Beasley fumbles the ball. Texas A&M scoops and scores, makes it like a 27-23 game. We're still up by 4. Then Michael Bishop throws like a pick 6, and final score ended up being like 32-27. K-State ended up going to the Cotton Bowl that particular season, losing to Drew Brees and the Purdue Boilermakers at the Cotton Bowl. The most annoyingest train ever. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean. If you're not a Purdue Boilermaker fan and that train comes rolling through downtown San Antonio at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're like, man, I'm trying to sleep. Shut the hell up, right? But it is what it is. As lightning is going on in the background there. Drew says he already graduated. Guys, I gotta get going. I would love to talk to you guys all night, but we got an interview coming up with LaShawn Mays Jr., Silver Creek linebacker, my linebacker that I get the privilege to coach here this year for the next 2 years, junior and senior year. He is getting recruited by Florida State, Ohio State. I believe Wisconsin is in his top 5 as well. I don't understand why he has a top 5, but that's coming up here on the Man Hour, guys. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Big X Sports Radio, 313 The Flash, UK over there, over the pond. We see you guys. We are there live right now. It was like 5 a.m. there, I think they're 8 hours ahead, so it's probably like 4 or 5 a.m. and like in the morning. So we get to be the UK morning show over there across the pond. I need to get the actual tag line for them so we can give them better support over here in the States. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to Big X Sports Radio, 1450 AM, 313 The Flash, and coming soon, ESPN San Antonio. But sit back and really, guys. Thank you for tuning in for the Man Hour. We'll be back Sunday. Combs and Wyatt should be here. I don't know if Tori is going to be back from Kansas yet or not, but we will be here, guys, Sunday, 8 p.m. East Coast time, youtube.com/Man Hour. All the good stuff, guys. Yeah. Have a good night, guys. We out.